That there is a reasonable discussion to be had about influenza versus COVID, SARS-2. The other point about similarities that Jay talked about, it's not just that it spreads in a very similar way, it's also relevant to the discussion of masks, because the size of the flu virus is relatively the same as the size of this virus. And so all the barrier success to this sort of virus, you can infer what it would be. We know what it is now, but even in the earliest stages, we could have inferred, and many of us did, what that effectiveness would be.
Scott, by size, do you mean
the virus particle itself, the diameter? It is a measurable entity, a virus, and this diameter, which, for instance, is smaller than the pore size, the hole size of a surgical mask. And so, you don't have to know much to make the sort of common sense deduction. Hey, if the hole in the mask is bigger than the virus, maybe the virus is going to go through the hole. And this is the sort of size. We know what the data shows now, but I'm just saying that there are a lot of similarities and differences. And the biggest difference of all is this idea that children have an extraordinarily low risk, children who are healthy, from this virus.
If you continue about the masks, there's like multiple problems with these masks during this pandemic. One is that there's been a lot of emphasis on wearing masks, which is an ineffective way to protect you. So that means that other public health messages that are actually would be important, they were forgotten. They went the route of the mask instead of better ventilations, for example, or more testing in nursing homes, or less staff rotation in nursing homes. So there was a focus on the wrong thing. The other problem is that some people, so older people, were at very high risk from this disease. And if you tell them, oh, wear a mask and you're safe, well, that's not true. So a lot of old people got the message that, okay, as long as I put a mask on, I can go to this restaurant or this go supermarket, but maybe they shouldn't have.
So you're
they
saying...
got safe security. So these pushing for masks actually, I think, killed people, because some people did things that they thought was safe because they were wearing a mask, but it wasn't.
So it lulled them into a sense of security,
exactly.
that false sense of security,
yes.
And potentially put them at higher risk.
Exactly.
And put them in situations where they're not actually protected.
Yeah. And then, of course, with masks, you have issues of putting masks on children who is learning to speak, and they need to see faces, and they need to see how the people move their mouth as they talk and so on.